the great Sphinx of Giza. This ancient sculpture is unsurpassed in its scale and ambition.
Never before had anything like this been seen in Egypt. No colossal statue this size, this scale existed.
Egyptian stonemasons cut the Sphinx from limestone bedrock more than 4,000 years ago, most likely to honor the great pharaoh Khafre. Historians believe the human features of the Sphinx are a direct likeness of the pharaoh himself. But over thousands of years, the harsh desert wind has sandblasted Khafre's carved features away, leaving just a few tantalizing clues as to how the sculpture originally looked. The deep cuts in the face are chisel marks, left by vandals who chopped off the nose. Based on other statues of the time, this is what the nose may have looked like. Stone fragments found between the paws are clues that the Sphinx had a beard. Traces of paint behind the ears could mean that it used to wear heavy makeup. And what looks like hair is actually a regal headdress, framing the immortal face of the god king Khafre himself. But one big question remains unanswered. Why did Khafre put his face on the body of a lion? The ancient world had never seen an animal-human hybrid quite like it before.
Usually, statues in ancient Egypt are comprising a human body with an animal head, so they're usually that way round, rather than in the case of the Sphinx, where we've got a lion's body with Khafre's human head on top.
Egyptologist Lydia McKnight believes cats had special religious meaning to the Egyptians, and that perhaps Khafre put his head on a lion to impress his cat-mad people. Lydia looks for evidence of this cat obsession in tiny mummies like this, commonly unearthed in Egyptian digs.
We've brought a mummified animal from Manchester Museum's collections because we believe it to be the mummy of a cat.
Today, Lydia wants to confirm the contents of this tightly wrapped package and get some idea of how the animal died. She wants to know if the death was natural or if the Egyptians were killing animals to order.
We brought it here today to use non-invasive radiographic methods that are usually used to scan living patients, just to check what's going on the inside in a non-destructive way.
First, Lydia needs to check if it really is a cat inside the ancient dressings. She hunts for telltale signs that the skeleton is feline.
Usually we identify a cat from the skull and the teeth, so the shape of the skull, the teeth, and the limb bones, so the legs. But we've got what appears to be 4 limbs in the position we would expect to find them.
The ancient skull of this specimen is badly damaged, but the legs are intact and folded up underneath the body.
You can see quite nicely the paws here. So this is one of your front limbs and the paw. We've got what appears to be a complete cat skeleton in there.
Lydia also searches for thin, clear lines that run horizontally across the top of the leg bones. This will tell her how old the cat was when it died. These lines are growth plates, and they're only found in juvenile animals. The prominent growth plates on this specimen can mean only one thing.
So it was an immature kitten at the time of death.
The fact that this kitten died before the end of its natural life suggests it was not a beloved pet. It was an animal bred in captivity for one purpose: to be slaughtered and mummified as an offering to the cat gods.
Research estimates that around 10 million cats would have been mummified as votive offerings during this 1,000-year time period, so we really are looking at a massive scale industry.
The Egyptian people clearly thought cats were an important link to their gods. And by putting his image on the body of a lion, Khafre might have found many admirers. But Lydia thinks that the pharaoh's motivations stretched far beyond mere popularity.
We believe that the pharaohs liked to imply that they were almost gods on earth, that they had the power of a god but in living human form.
Did Khafre want to be seen as a god? Is that why he put his head on one of the animals his subjects considered most holy?
Khafre wanted to show his dominance and power over not only the physical landscape in which the statue stands, but also over the people of Egypt during his reign.
To impress his people, Khafre ordered the construction of the biggest statue in Egyptian history. But there was a problem. No animal carving this big had ever been attempted before. To achieve it, Mark Lehner thinks the Egyptian craftsmen must have learned how to exploit the natural layers of the rock.
We've been looking at the layers in the Sphinx quarry where they cut the blocks. But it all tells you that the Egyptians were good geologists in their own right. They used the geology and the layers to their advantage, that's for sure.
Mark's investigations suggest that the Egyptians would pound trenches into the bedrock to form a grid of deep channels and expose the layers of limestone. They drove wooden wedges between the layers to split them with ease and lift out perfect building blocks. As they excavated the rocks, they carved out the rough shape of the Sphinx and recycled the spoil to build the temples. Finally, an army of stonemasons used copper chisels to add the detail of the pharaoh's face and lion's body.
And the combination of the human head with the lion body symbolizes supreme strength and power, as in many cultures, the lion is the symbol, is the king of the beasts. And yet, the beast is controlled by human intelligence. Indeed, the intelligence of Pharaoh himself